So welcome to my kitchen. This is Cooking Today. Hi, welcome to Cooking Today. I'm glad you're here. I'm making a really easy weeknight meal. I mean, this is one of our favorites around here. My boys really love it, and my husband really loves it, and it's hearty. And when I say easy weeknight meal, I mean it is easy to make this dish. We are making a mozzarella and meatball bake with some beautiful grilled, like Italian loaf bread. It's kind of a scoop your meatballs and all that good sauce and cheese and put it on a piece of bread and eat it. It's very kind of a tactile dig in meal. It's delicious and it's easy. If you wanted to serve it with some pasta, you could serve it with some pasta. But it's really hearty enough with these big hunks of bread that I don't even do it that way. So it is easy. And I always am glad to give you some shortcuts. It's already a pretty shortcut meal with some easy store-bought items. I'm actually gonna kind of fancy it up and give it a little bit of a homemade, couple of homemade touches today. But if you needed to just hustle up and get it done, then there are some really easy ways for you to do that. So let me tell you what we've got. I have got this big, yummy, long log of this amazing mozzarella. I love fresh mozzarella like this. You can buy the block of mozz if you want and shred it. If you must, for a time saver, you can eat bag shredded mozzarella, but it just does not melt the same. Y'all kind of know how I feel about the elbow grease in shredding your own cheese. So if you can get a block and just shred it, great. If you can get this yummy mozzarella loaf, this is the one that will make it stringy. We put this on our flatbread pizzas that makes the bites really gooey and stringy. That's so good about Italian food. And it is really mild. It's not very salty. It's just awesome, y'all, with this red sauce and these meatballs. And this one comes pre-sliced. I'm just kind of going down through it with my knife. And what I'm doing, because mozzarella is a really wet cheese, it's got lots of moisture in it, I just lay it out on a little paper towel lined tray. And I let it just kind of air out a little bit, and then I'll kind of dab it with a paper towel on the top, because otherwise it will be really wet and liquidy and juicy on top of your meatball bake, and that is not what we're going for. We want it to be a little bit more kind of dried out and baked down, and then that good gooey kind of brownish spots that mozzarella gets when it cooks in the oven. It's so good, y'all know that. Okay, so we've laid out our mozzarella, and we're gonna let that just kind of sit and dry out a little bit. Then we're gonna do a little bit of prep for our bread that's coming up. And what we're gonna do is put a little olive oil in this little, I love this little warmer. We use these all the time. Just a little drizzle, I don't know, maybe about a half a cup or so of olive oil in my pan. Oh, I've already got my garlic out. And what I'm gonna do here is we wanna kind of flavor the olive oil so that it's not just plain old olive oil that's going on our bread. And so, smells so good. Isn't garlic so pretty? And I love these ones that have that little kind of lavender colored paper on them. They are beautiful. It's just a little bit of a different variety. So I'm gonna choose, I've cut the end of this off, I'm gonna choose one of the bigger cloves of garlic that are in here. And then just to get some flavor in this olive oil, I am going to give that a little, that was tough then. That was a hard one, I had to grit my teeth. I'm going to just mash this big clove of garlic out of its paper and just float it in this liquid. That's it. That is all we're gonna do to it. So I mashed it. The reason you wanna mash it is so that it has some, you kind of are releasing the oils. And so you want to be sure to give that a good mash. And then all I'm gonna do here is let this just kind of get nice and warm on low while our mozzarella bake is cooking and we're getting our meatballs, you know, nice and brown. And so that way we're gonna flavor this good olive oil. So I'm gonna stick that over here on low. We don't want it to come to a boil or anything like that. We just want a nice low heat underneath. And then I'm gonna save that for another minute. Now, we have got these amazing meatballs. Now, you can buy, you know, there are meatballs at the grocery that are in the freezer section that come in a bag, and you have to cut the top open, okay? That paper is sticking to me. They come in the bag. And so you can do that. Harps has these really neat meatballs in the freezer section that are really kind of like fresh frozen, like they've been made fresh and then frozen. And so I got these. You need about 24 frozen meatballs. And when we come back, I'm gonna show you how to get some awesome flavor on these meatballs before we put them in the sauce. So join us again. We'll be back in just a few minutes. This is Cooking Today.
Cooking Today, sponsored by West Rock Coffee Company.
Hi, welcome back to Cooking Today. I'm making a really easy weeknight comfort dish. It is a one-dish bake. It's meatballs and mozzarella that we serve with this delicious grilled French bread or like an Italian loaf that we're infusing the olive oil with garlic that we're gonna brush on that bread and grill in a minute. And so what I've got here, what we need to get going on is these fresh frozen meatballs. And again, you could buy them in the big bag if you would like. They work just the same. And I have a preheated cast iron. It's my favorite. I mean, it's one of my favorites. It's called Staub, and it is this double-handled fry pan. And it's a big boy. And what I'm doing is I've got it preheated on a little bit low, like about medium low. And I've put a little oil in the bottom. And the reason I have this on medium low I just want to kind of warm the oil right away, but we don't want it to be screaming hot with oil in it like frying, because these frozen meatballs have a little bit of ice or water on them. And when ice or water hits really hot oil, it splashes and spatters and spits hot oil on you. That's why we have it turned down just a little bit low so that I can get these frozen meatballs placed in here. So I would definitely suggest using some tongs to do this. Can you hear them starting to sizzle? Okay, I'm gonna scoot them over, and then we're gonna make room for our other little pan of these. I actually did not know about these meatballs, y'all. I had always used bag ones, and the bag ones are delicious. I mean, they are awesome. These cost a little bit more. I think they're a little bit, you know, maybe just a little bit bigger, a little fancier. But I was at the grocery one day, and this man had a whole pack of these. I mean, like a stack, like a big stack of them, like stockpiling for like the end of days. Like meatballs is what he was gonna survive on. And he was telling me all about them. I told him I'd never seen them, and they were packaged so pretty. So he's the one that told me about them. They're really good. So now that we have our meatballs positioned in our really hot pan, I'm gonna give one more kind of little drizzle, and I'm gonna turn my temp up. Now what we're gonna do on these, or the purpose of what we're doing, is, you know, the meatballs have flavor by themselves already without any help. But you know how good brown meat tastes, like when you get it on a burger on the grill and you get those good crispy bites, and you know the way we sear meat here, like pork chops and steaks and all of that. We're gonna pour easy store-bought sauce right on top of these meatballs. And you could not do this step, but when you get a good sear on the outside of these meatballs and they are browned all the way around, they are delicious. They are delicious, y'all. So we're just getting a little sear. So I'm letting them just do their thing. And then we're gonna take our little turner and kind of roll them around a little bit. We are not cooking them. These are not gonna cook through right now. We are only getting color on them. Does that make sense? they're gonna finish cooking in the oven when we bake them off. But we're just adding flavor. Okay, so while those are doing that, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm cutting up 2 big fat cloves of garlic. You could do as many of these or as few as you want. You know, I love garlic, so I've got some big ones here. And I'm gonna chop a yellow onion. And so let me go ahead. I think I can tell just by kind of hearing these that they're starting to get color. So I'm gonna take my turner and loosen them. Oh yes, look, do you see? Look at that. See how they're starting to get color? I'm gonna go back to my tongs and I'm gonna flip them so that I'm sure that every single one of them has color. Ooh, look at that one. So we just wanna kind of roll them, and I'm gonna turn them on purpose so that they all get color on them, on all 4 sides. And then just toward the end, I'm just gonna give them a shake, 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 almost like you would just kind of stir fry. Just give them a good shake, shake, shake. But right now, I'm gonna intentionally make sure that at least a couple of sides have color. And they smell so, so good. Oh my goodness. I love meatballs. This is so easy, y'all. This is something my boys absolutely love. Okay, so I'm starting to kind of get them all flipped. Look at, oh, that's a good one. Look at that one. And they smell fantastic because they're seasoned so well. Okay. I'm just about done. I think that's good. We're gonna let them stay there for a few minutes and let those just keep going. And then I'm gonna go ahead and move to my onion. So what we're doing is we're browning those meatballs on the outside to add the flavor. Then we're gonna take those out of that skillet and let them sit on a sheet pan for just a few minutes while we saute onion and garlic. Again, just a step we're adding to a couple of like easy store-bought sauce shortcuts, but it's just gonna give us a lot of flavor. So I am gonna continue to brown those meatballs, and then I'm gonna swirl some oil in the bottom of that pan and give these onion and garlic just a little bit of saute till they're tender. And when we come back, I'm gonna show you how we put it all together. It takes no time for this awesome weeknight meatball bake. This is Cooking Today.
Iced tea, sponsored by Lipton.
Experience the local sounds, sights, and taste of the Fayetteville Farmers Market.
Do you know the producer behind your food?
What about how far away your food was grown?
Local to us means your food is harvested hours before traveling less than 60 miles to our market.
Enjoy music, chef demos, and special events while you shop for locally grown produce, meats, cheeses, flowers, artisan crafts, fine art, and more.
Visit us Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday on the square.
The Fayetteville Farmers Market, 100% local and loved.
Hi, welcome back. We are making a beautiful, easy weeknight meatball and mozzarella bake. I have removed my meatballs after I got a little brown color on them. We got some good color on our onions and garlic. We'll let those cook down. This is how simple this is. I am putting my meatballs back in the skillet. The oven is preheated to 375. I'm giving this just a little kind of toss around to be sure that everything is kind of nice and equal. Okay, so we're just kind of laying them down in there. Isn't this easy? I told y'all this was so easy. Store-bought, 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 with just a few little fresh things. Store-bought, fresh grated Parmesan cheese. This is the good kind that you get in like the deli in this neat little dish, not the kind that you shake. So this is like the really good stuff. We're adding flavor. So I'm going over these meatballs to make sure that every one of them has a little cheese on top, because cheese, don't we love it? We love it. And then all this is gonna take, y'all, this is so easy. We got 2 jars of red sauce from the store. And I usually like to mix mine, not just do one flavor. So usually I'll get like maybe like a traditional and a 4 cheese, or a meat flavored and a sweet basil. Just to kind of, again, kind of some depth of flavor on what we're doing. This one's traditional. Pouring this one over. Easy. And then this one is a 3 cheese. And I'm pouring this one over. And I'm making sure every single meatball's got is covered in sauce. And the sauce is going to fill in kind of around, but you want to be sure that the meatballs are at least covered. So look at the flavor that we've added in this easy everything is basically store-bought, except that we did a little bit of extra work and added in the onions and garlic. And now, look at this. That's those pieces of cheese that we've allowed to kind of dry out. We're going to cover them. That's so good. I mean, it smells so good in here, y'all. And this cheese is going to melt, melt, melt. And it's going to kind of fill in some of the gaps. And it's going to be gooey and awesome. And we're going to bake this at 375 for about maybe 20 minutes or so. Did I say that? Yeah, 375, 20 minutes or so. And we're going to check it to be sure. You can check the internal temperature of your meatballs. They should be about 155, 165 degrees, somewhere in there. Okay, how easy is that? I'm going to stick this in my preheated oven. And I have a preheated grill pan going on my stove right here. And it's hot, 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 hot. Because we are going to do some toasted grilled bread. This is kind of like, I don't know. It's kind of like a deconstructed meatball sub, I guess you could say. It's really, really easy to make. Just has a little bit of a different kind of experience, like when you're eating it. And really, really healthy. I don't know that it's healthy. I was about to say healthy. It's healthy. I will say this, if you wanted to load up on your carbs, you could actually serve that over some pasta. You could have some pasta if you wanted to. Or you can actually open these up or split them halfway where they don't come all the way open and spoon that right onto a sub sandwich, just like a meatball sub. So you have a couple of options on your way to serve this, but this is just the way that we like to do it. Now, I will say that what I like to do here is lay these out. These are just Italian sub rolls, like the kind that you would get if you were going to make like a big hoagie of some kind. They also make Italian bread in like the super extra long rolls. They're really big, and so I kind of prefer this kind of smaller way. And then all I'm going to do is, here's our garlic infused olive oil. Remember that? I mean, it smells fantastic. Super easy. We're just going to take olive oil and brush it right on these pieces of bread. So we've got some flavor. Do you see what we're doing? It's just on a weeknight, you can't really always cook from scratch. You can't always make your own red sauce, and you can't always make your own meatballs, and you can't always make your own bread. So what I'm trying to show you how to do is to take store-bought shortcuts and do just a few things to them to make them taste extra good. Those just little bitty extra things make all the difference, like infusing our garlic in our olive oil. Okay. And now we're just going to salt and pepper these. Salt and pepper. And then I'm going to cut them in half, kind of on a bias, so that they're a little bit more manageable for one person. And then we're going to just stick them on our grill pan. It's so easy, y'all. And then our meatballs are going to come out of the oven, and they're going to be gorgeous. I cannot wait. And rich and cheesy. Come back. You're going to want to see how this one looks in the end. This is Cooking Today. Hi, welcome back. We are wrapping up the most wonderful, hearty, easy comfort bake, a one-dish meal. It's a meatball and mozzarella bake, and it is gorgeous. Let me tell you, we also brushed that olive oil that was infused and salt and peppered, those pretty Italian subs, and grilled those just on my grill pan over the stove. Easy, easy, easy. And then the last 5 minutes or so, just to get a good brown on the top of our meatball bake, I turned the oven up to a low broil and then just kind of stood and watched what was happening to get this beautiful brown cheese. And wait till you see. I cannot wait. Oh my goodness. And then I've also done a little basil chiffonade where you just lay the leaves down inside itself and roll them. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Isn't that so fun? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So we've got all that good brown and gooey and that easy jarred sauce. We used store-bought meatballs and store-bought cheese and store-bought red sauce. Easy as that. Store-bought cheese, store-bought bread. So easy with just a couple of little bitty touches. I'm gonna do a little bit of parm on there one more time before I do that basil. Flavor on every layer, flavor in every step. Beautiful basil chiffonade on the top. We're just gonna spoon it out and stick our hunks of bread in there and just go to town on it. It is delicious. Try this at home. Love every bite. This is cooking today.
Cooking Today, sponsored by West Rock Coffee Company. Kitchenware is provided by Una Mays. Groceries provided by Harps, Hometown Fresh. Online Elements sponsored by Fayetteville Farmers Market.